All right, everyone, welcome back to the Royalty. Of course, I am your host, Big D, and I am here to recap another Survivor episode. But of course, I had to kind of dig deep and go and get someone who I've been waiting to talk to, someone to come and join me on this show. And it's Jamie from season 44 of Survivor. Jamie, how are you? Welcome to the
Hi.
Royalty Podcast. How are
Thank
you
you.
doing, beautiful?
I'm doing so well. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. I am I'm it was about this time last year that we met for the very first time and I always wanted
Yes,
to meet you in
yes,
person. I was so happy that you were at our finale, which was
yes.
almost exactly a year ago. So
Isn't that crazy?
yes, and I'm happy to finally be on your podcast. It's just
I'm
it's
happy
an
that you
honor. Thank you.
came and
Thank you.
just no, thank you for just coming because I know me, you've been messaging back and forth, trying to find the time, trying to do it. And I'm like, I have to get Jamie. And then also, Jam Jam made it clear to me that I cannot have anybody else in the show if unless I come and get you. He's like,
I
Jamie
love
has
it.
to be the next person on this show. And I was like,
I
okay,
love
I'll see
it.
if she's available. But your energy, you're so amazing.
Aw,
But before I get into
I
everything,
love it.
Jamie, please tell everybody what have you been up to since your season.
Yes.
I know you came in sixth place, so I feel like this is the
Yes,
perfect
it
episode to
is.
talk to you about because we're now down to six players in this episode. But please, Jamie, tell us. Let
Yes.
me shut up.
Oh my gosh, I love Survivor. Love this time of year. It's so reminiscent of where we were at this time last year. But since oh my gosh, it's been such a whirlwind. It's like there's phases of the Survivor process. It's like you're getting ready to go out there, then you're filming out there, and then you come out and you have this like in between time, and then it airs and it's a whirlwind. And now, a year later after the airing, I'm like, I feel like I'm just now starting to feel normal again, getting back into like the groove of things. I've been working on some really cool art projects with my muralist friends, and that's been taking up a lot of my time. And then traveling, of course, and watching Survivor. Actually, I was in London and Paris last week, and we had to watch it on our phones. So it's not available till the next day. Anyway, we make it a big thing. We're always traveling this time of year in the spring. And so we had to find a place to watch Survivor and keep up. And it's just so exciting, especially this season has been amazing. I'm like, do I like this season more than 44? Because
I,
it's so good. It's so
it's
good.
it's so good. And 44 was a phenomenal season too. I'm just now over here like this is insane, but also London, Paris, like Jimmy, you're like living. Like I'm over here, like, and your energy. I don't think people know, and the people that are listening, because once again, you can listen to this on Apple or Spotify or whatever. But if not, come see our pretty faces over YouTube at the Heavy Crown Network page. But I will say, like, your energy, it's like shooting through my screen right
Oh,
now because I was so tired. Of course, I had a Bryson Win Present party last night in
yes.
Philadelphia, and I'm like, you're just giving me all the coffee and energy drinks I need. Like, I love
I
your
love
energy,
it.
and this is how you are in person. Like, this is you all the time, and I love that. And this is why Jamie will always be a threat when it comes to the game of Survivor because her social skills and how her presence is, it will always
Oh,
get her far in the game no matter what.
oh, that is such a huge compliment. Thank you. Thank you.
But okay, so Jamie, I know you heard before we get into the episode. I know you heard about Survivor 50. Do
Ooh.
you think that you want to go, or is there anybody you
Oh,
want to shout out and say you want to see them there?
if
What's
I
your
get the
thoughts?
call,
Okay.
I'm there 100%. I like to say that season 44 was my villain origin story. We know the tale of the fake idol. So it's like I can come back with I mean, I need that redemption arc. So, and you never know what you're gonna get if I come back as a villain. I mean, who knows? But I would totally play it again. It was the best summer of my life. It's like,
Wow.
oh my gosh, and when I'm watching it now, I kind of get jealous. I'm like, "Ah, that's our beach, that's our tree. We recognize the spots on Fiji. So it's just kind of, oh, I dream about it, but there are so many amazing players. I mean, they're looking at 40. it will be 49 seasons that they're choosing from. So
Yeah.
if I were to be so lucky, I absolutely would play again. But I know that no matter what, season 50 is going to be amazing. There's so many amazing players. There's so many stories we still want to see, and
Of
um,
course.
yeah, and it's my favorite game. I've been a fan my entire life. So I love watching it. I love talking about it. I love doing podcasts. I love everything about Survivor. It's just so much fun. I love screaming at my TV every Wednesday night, especially last night. I was like,
Girl.
this is unheard of.
Un-
What?
Last night, let me tell you something. And before I get into that, I just want to say to your season 50 thought, I am manifesting no winners. I don't want to see winners on. Here's the thing: when it comes to these All-Star seasons, I want to see players that did not win because they are going to play a whole different mind game. They're not thinking about their reputation. They're not thinking about whatever. They're playing so hard because some of them came in second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 16th place, 17th place, whatever. I always think that these shows should always do a All-Star season of just no one that won and then make a winner season.
Yes.
If you want to. I feel like that's the better route when it comes to these shows. And I say this about Big Brother, I'm gonna say this about Survivor. They need to take a page out of RuPaul's book and do the same thing, because RuPaul's Drag Race, they do all people that didn't win, and then they had a season of all winners, and it was great. So that's my last thought on that. But to get into
Agree. I totally agree.
and also, I will say, if there's one player that has to come back for season 50, it better be Bryce. If it's not Bryce Isaiah, I will not be talking about Survivor 50. And mark my word, take this note, take this clip, run with it. But Bryce Isaiah better be on season 50, or I'm rioting.
Thank you. We are waiting for Bryce. Oh my gosh. Could you imagine that? Bryce, we need to start the campaign like today.
Right
it
now.
starts today. Now. Bryce for season 50.
I tweet every day. I now tweet or comment or message CBS and let them know I need Bryce Isaiah on season 50 of Survivor.
Yes. And he's been pre-gaming forever. Like, he's been pre-gaming since his season.
He has all these events. He's been talking to everybody. He's the perfect person to go. That's
yeah. I would love to see that. I mean, he knows everybody. He's running the events. It's brilliant. I would love to see Bryce.
He deserves it, especially how he went out. He deserves it out of everybody. Now, okay, to get into, like you said, last night's episode.
Yes,
Jaime, girl, this is the most chaotic thing I've ever seen, if I'm correct, because in my notes they're a little bit all over the place. Okay. But in the beginning of the episode, I think that Mackenzie is having a conversation. Does she have a conversation with Liz, or is it or Charlie in the beginning of the episode?
The beginning of the episode. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Because they were talking about the vote. And Venus going out.
Oh, yes. It's because Ben writes Kenzie's name down.
That's right. Oh my God.
He's like, wait a second. I had a brain slip. I don't know what I was doing. And Kenzie forgives him very quickly, which is weird because you kind of are thinking like, wait, was everyone supposed to write my name down? I mean, if I'm Kenzie, I'm kind of feeling nervous that I even saw my name at all. But then I also think that there's a chance that, Ben could have been out of loop. But I think in this case, I think he really is not eating and really had like his brain wasn't working when he was up there. And if he just wrote it down, maybe they were saying her name for a minute, but I know that it could be three things. They either said her name and he totally like missed up the change in plans. B, really a brain slip, or C, he was totally out of the loop. I'm going with B, that he really had a brain slip. He just
I really want to say I agree with you. I met Ben in person, and I think that he's a very, very nice guy. I crack jokes about him, on this season not being existent there. He's just there on vacation and stuff. But I can see him because like you said, not eating the night terrors, not knowing what time it is, not getting enough sleep, I can see him just going all over the place. But I remember him having a conversation with, Maria, and having a conversation with Charlie about what the plan was going to be. I had James here last episode, talking about what he think happened, and I want to know your thoughts. He mentioned that Ben did that, so then, if Venus used the idol, then Mackenzie would have went home. But it sounds like now in this episode, that wasn't the plan, which would have been kind of iconic if he said something like that, but he didn't. So I agree with you on that. So
Yeah,
it
and
was
I
very
think that
interesting.
I think it is like a different, because Ben has always been very sensitive, and I haven't met him in person yet, but I feel like he's so genuine. He has a good read on people. He's playing with his heart, and I don't think that he would truly ever, do
Be that
anything
malicious.
maliciously. Yeah, exactly. Like he seems so pure. And I remember saying that even like episode 2 or 3, just having that be his vibe. So anyhow, I do and I love Ben. I'm glad that he's still here. He's entertaining, and all of
Yeah.
his one-liners are really funny.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he's fun to have
He's
out
not,
there.
like I said, I like him as a person, and not my favorite player, but it's okay. We
Right.
all have, what we like. That's what I love about Survivor, because there's so many different characters, there's so
Yes.
many different people, and that's the same thing how I feel about Big Brother. There's so many different people where you can relate and love to. But I just found that interesting how he literally had to explain to Mackenzie, especially because Mackenzie's been his, like, the person basically taking care of him this whole season and being there for him and doing breathing exercises and making sure he's
Oh,
okay and all that. So that was very tough to see, but I love that he was honest enough to say that, so then she's not out here looking like, who voted for me? Also, can I ask you a question, Jamie? Why
yeah.
does everybody want to tell everybody who they voted for? Is
It's
that like a thing in Survivor?
yeah, it's a thing, and it's like after tribal, Jeff reads all the votes, and we don't necessarily know who voted for who, but based on the plan that you went in to tribal thinking was going to happen, you kind of have an idea, and people's handwriting. But if there's you do want to match up the name to the vote, because then that's how you build trust. That's how you know, like, did you really write down who you were going to write down if you're planning a split vote? But I think it's definitely that campfire talk post tribal. You go back and it's like, who wrote down who? And on our season, there were a couple funny moments where like there was one vote where Heidi wrote down Danny's name, but we come back and Heidi's like, no, I didn't write down your name. And then it's like this ongoing lie to Danny when she really did write down his name.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so it's really just, and then it's kind of proving loyalty, because I think her intention with that is like to prove, hey, I'm willing to write down my number one's name, which is what she told us. And then, um, so yes, it is always a conversation right after tribal, like who voted for who. We need to start like you're kind of keeping track. And if it doesn't add up, also there could be something where if somebody lost nowadays, if they lost a vote, the names might not add up. So
Yeah.
in that case, you're like, wait, we're missing a vote. Who didn't vote? Oh,
Got
someone,
it.
Matt didn't vote, or so and so didn't vote. So
See, I
yes,
would have
it's
been lying my
always a
ass off, because I know in Big Brother we do the same thing. We'll be like, oh, I'm voting for this way. They'll try when they read the votes, they try to figure it out. But I remember the first week of Big Brother, I wrote another person's name that didn't go home, and I was like, I voted for so and so, and I kept that line all the way up until maybe we got to the final 7. So that's why I'm like, very interesting to just see how seems like every time everyone's like, okay, who voted for me, and they're like all spilling the beans. But to get
yes.
into where we're at, okay, we start
Okay.
off with a food challenge, okay?
Yes.
I always like to just call it interesting obstacle. This one was all about, if I'm correct, like they had to get, was it a bag or puzzle pieces they had to get, or they had to get the balls. They had to get the
Yep.
balls, and they had to go through underneath I don't know, a cage to get through, basically a bunch of obstacles, of course. But at the end, it ended up being, does it have a name, Jamie? Like, I feel like we've seen this before, like the little balanced
Oh,
maze with the ball.
what is that called? I don't know if there's an actual name to it, but it is it, the maze ones are intense, and I know Jeff always says, in the episode he said you have to kind of practice a couple times, like let it fall down, and then you'll get you'll get the hang of
The
it.
rhythm, the
Hmm.
rhythm. Now, Maria is she's like a beast. She's like first out. She's like the first one there at the end. Then here comes Q, and then comes Charlie, and then everybody else starts catching up. And because this challenge is so like you can't just get to the end and win. It's like you really got. It's really coming down to the puzzle. So
Yeah.
it kind of works out because at this point now everyone has made it to the part of the puzzle. I will tell you this puzzle. I would have been very frustrated. I would have felt very defeated because of the holes that are placed in the puzzle and where it's at.
Hmm.
I don't know. Like, how do you?
The
How do you?
balance, it takes such like finesse to get the hang of it. And even with if you can't visualize the maze, I know Liz like lifted her leg up and was kind of like drawing out the maze and what.
What is Liz doing?
Meanwhile,
Liz is really. I really wrote here. I wrote in my notes. I go, Liz is either high as a kite or Liz is so like starving to the point that she's now just like gone. Like
yeah,
it's that bad at this point.
we know.
Because I've never seen anything like that. I thought she was
Yes,
going to use her foot to help
I
her.
know.
I
I
thought.
didn't. Why was she lifting her leg up? I don't know. I think, but then I saw it was kind of like she was drawing it out. Like she couldn't just visualize the maze. It was like she needed to like kind of draw it out with her foot, which was funny. And then her knees bleeding. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's happening here? So I think that it was hilarious. Liz, who knows what Liz is doing? She's starving. She's allergic to everything.
She's starving. She's allergic to everything. I see you eat every day. She's worried about a burger. She's still upset about the burger 2 episodes ago.
She
She's trying to figure
is.
out why no one ate that burger. Who ate that burger? Did it go to
Yeah.
production? Did production eat the
I
burger? Did they
know,
send the
right?
burger home that is waiting for me? Is it waiting in my hotel room or wherever you
Right?
guys stay, at the end of the competition of the show? I'm worried about the burger. That's where she's at. Because I've never seen
Does she
anything like
have?
it.
I want to know if she has an Applebee's deal yet, because the way that she was so obsessed, it goes. She and her daughter. She has the story. I mean, that was insane. Like the fact that that is her Survivor tradition every Wednesday, and then for her to not be picked. I mean, it was kind of upsetting, but Liz is hungry. Let's blame it on the hunger. But at this point in the game, you really are, at this point, you can go for it all the like reward, because you're kind of weighing out, if I win this, does my threat level, my target increase? You're kind of balancing that out. And this being the letters from home. Now, they don't know that going into the
No, but
challenge.
no, we can get right into it. Yeah, this challenge, it is an award challenge, but a food challenge, and it also comes with the
The
opportunity. We find out at the end, Jeff lets them know that it is letters from home.
Yes. So letters from home, which is the biggest reward challenge on Survivor, and everybody kind of dreams about that, especially back in the day when it was like the families were actually there. Now in the new era, it was the videos, and now it's the letters from home, which is still huge. It's very powerful. It gives you that extra oomph that you need. And I mean, at that point, you're so hungry, you're so tired, 23 days in, that having a letter from home is very powerful. So everybody's kind of hopeful for that, especially after Charlie wins. So Charlie, um, I mean, we kind of knew, I mean, he's a very strong competitor. It puts him in the position. He added the deal with Maria to never take each other on the reward challenge, which I thought was brilliant by both of them setting that up beforehand, to
Yes, yes.
so that they don't appear like a duo, but then also so that at this point in the game they can kind of start branching off the way that they need to, which I was like, okay, this is good. Like this is
Mm-hmm,
set up
mm-hmm,
perfectly for him to easily pick whoever he wants to bring.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
There's a lot of pressure, and the pattern in previous seasons is whoever wins this challenge typically goes home. Now, in the past, it's been at when there's 8 people left. This is the first season where there's 6 people left. So whoever goes home, whoever wins the challenge typically goes home. Like my season, Franny won the challenge with the family letters from home, and we voted her out that night just because, I mean, it's just a powerful moment in the game. And it's like, if you're not going to take us, then you might be going home.
Yeah, you might be going home. Yeah, I agree. But he ends up picking, and you know what? And I love that you said that. Like, I think it's, and maybe it's just a tradition thing. So it's like, future Survivor players, you know, I will tell you, if it's an award challenge and you can know beforehand, which we don't know because you find out afterwards, but if you know beforehand, don't win that challenge when it comes to the letters and stuff like that. Because you just have to look at it wise when you go in these games. And, you know, he ends up picking Mackenzie, right? I do want to get into that. He ends up picking Mackenzie because, you know, she had to move her wedding. I get it. He wants to pick her. You know, Mackenzie has been on a reward already. So I feel like he could have picked maybe somebody else. But it's okay because everybody else has been on a reward but Liz. So, you know, he ends up picking Liz. Now, the villain in me.
Wait, I need to take notes. Because
oh yes, because we need to both be on our villain era when we go back to the game.
Exactly, yes. Stepping into my villain era.
Let me tell you something. Let her start. I would have not picked her. I would have not picked her.
Because I mean, you know, that is villain coded, okay?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I would have not picked her at all.
We're not picking, especially after the performance when she didn't originally get picked.
Yes.
Then let's just keep it going because now what are you going to do? I mean, she already got Rice a couple episodes ago. I think Jeff was very lenient in that having that as an option.
Baby,
and then everybody kind of.
Baby, that was. Look, you can't tell me nothing. We worked in. I love CBS and I know how they move, okay? Because CBS production itself is playing the game. That was a production move, okay? They're like, yo, we got to air this, but we got to make it some way where this girl gets right, so we're going to get in trouble. Come on now. Now, I will say this. Maria's crying because, you know, she's thinking about her family. If I'm correct, Maria's also a mom, but, you know, she did like you said, her and Charlie did make that deal. It was really tough to watch, but, you know, I was just kind of like, I think it worked out for her because as we see, you know, in this episode, it's like kind of motivates her.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I will say this. Jaime, the letter thing, maybe because you guys are not eating as much, you know, babe, I went 4.5 months without hearing from anybody in my family.
Exactly.
So you know, I'm like 29 days or 30 or whatever it is. I'm like, come on, guys. Like, it can't be. You gotta, when you go in these games, you gotta like, check out. Now, towards the end, like when I got to like 3 months, I was like, oh my God, like I really need to hear like 3 months. But I mean, Jaime, 29 days, girl.
It's like we've been on vacations longer than no. Okay, so I will say that there's a couple things. So because let me go back to my season just real quick. When that happened to me, I was in game mode hardcore that challenge. Like I was game mode, meaning I knew I needed to find an idol. So when Franny didn't pick me, she picked all the moms our season, which was great. That was like an easy way to separate it. She needed to build relationships with them anyhow. So I was left back with the boys, Carson, Jam, Danny, and myself. And for me, I loved that opportunity. I didn't see it as a loss. For me, it was a win because then I was back on the island and I was able to look for an idol, which I needed at that point in the game. There's 8 people left, and I think there was an idol out there. We thought there was. Anyway, for me, it was like, I'm going to look at the bright side. Like and also, you're right. It's only been 30 days, if that, if you consider like pregame that, we're out there for a little bit. But I think that it's tough and you're raw, and Survivor's built to break you down to your absolute core. And having that relationship and your family brought into it, the emotions, it kind of brings like the human back into you so that you kind of snap out of that game mode. when you go and read those letters. So strategically, it's also like, hey, who do you want to kind of bring in? So you can use it as a strategy that way. But you're right. It's something that, yes, it's great. And anyone that's received the letters has made it, they've been very vocal about how that gave them the extra boost. I know, I think Dee mentioned something about that, giving her the extra oomph, um, and Jesse, from previous seasons. But I just think so yes, that is there, but also it's like you have to stay focused on the game. So it's like, are they really beneficial? Is that going to take you out to, to a way more emotional place than you need to be getting at this point when you should be like laser focused on the game? So it's hit or miss for me. I remember being like, well, I need to find an idol, so it's quite all right that I'm here and there,
Okay,
over
and
there.
getting into Idol. Okay, so Q and Maria are back at the whatever island, land,
Exactly.
whatever you want to call it, back to the campsite. Okay, and they end up looking for an idol. Now, keep in mind, once again, Ben is nowhere to be found. It's just crazy to me. But they are looking for idols, and Q finds a damn idol. Okay,
I love Q. Oh my
love
gosh.
Q, love Q.
Yes.
Okay, so Maria has a conversation with Q after finding this idol. Q's like, "I'll use it on you if you're in trouble. You use it. Or if I'm in trouble, I'm going to use it on myself." They were very transparent. And they're like, "We got to work together." Maria is making it now clear because, like you said in the beginning, her and Charlie know they have to go their separate ways. They've been talking about it in the green screen. It's set up for that. Okay, Maria makes it clear that I'm gonna get rid of Charlie. Like we should get. I
Hmm.
will get. I'm thinking about getting rid of Charlie, and tells Q. Okay. Um. You know. It cuts back to after the reward. They had their Chinese. They also had a conversation about getting rid of Q. It seems like in this episode we're talking about Q, and we're also talking about Charlie. Okay. Um. Maria and Charlie have a conversation, and this conversation that they had on the beach, Jamie, I found it very interesting. It was one of those like conversations where it's like we're breaking up, but not even breaking up because people don't usually break up this nicely. I want to say it was more of like it reminded me of something like out of Game of Thrones. Like I am kneeling, we're both kneeling, and we're both taking both of our dragons and going a separate way. That's what it felt like. It felt like you take
Hmm.
your people, I take my people. We are now done. I love you. Remember, this is a game. I got to make it to the end, but I just can't work with you, right? It felt like they were trying to reinsure each other. Did you get that, or was I kind of off about
Yes,
that?
it was, and the way that they at the exact same time knew what they needed to do and had the same commentary really about each other's games, and knowing that this is the only time that we have to take each other out, and I have to take her out, she has to take me out, and she would be silly not to, I would be silly not to. For the sake of the game, I have to do what's best for myself. Having that, like, at that moment in time, recognize it's, you have that ultimate awareness of your position in the game, and as a duo you have to part ways one way at some point in the game, or you go to the end and you risk really battling it out head to head, vote for vote, because you played such a similar game. So
Yeah.
because they haven't been able to differentiate their games per se, it was really interesting to hear them kind of both recognize that in each other. They both have respect for each other because they both carried each other to the end. I mean, I think Maria has been very vocal about taking a lot of the credit, and Charlie's been more uh, positioning himself with every single person that's left in the game, and hiding behind Maria's strength in a sense, because she is a threat. So he's been able to
She's a
mitigate
threat.
his
Whatever
right.
Maria's doing, like a girl, I'm like, whoa, yeah, she's a threat.
Right. It
Yeah.
absolutely. And it's amazing. She's playing an amazing game. Charlie has just positioned himself in a way to hide behind her as the the more threatening twosome duo, and really to kind of create this facade with the other players that they may or may not be really close, they may or may not be playing together. But it's been really interesting to watch them kind of succeed and get as far as they have. And at Final Six, that's when you really have to start looking at who is going to be at Final Tribal with me and who can I outspeak, who do I have a better game? Like um who can I beat in the end, really? And
Yeah.
for them both to be in similar positions and them both to recognize that at Final Six. And I remember thinking last episode, like, I can't wait to see them duke it out this episode. So I'm glad that they kind of had that all episode. We see them going back and forth on knowing that they have to take one another out and who's going to be the one to do it. So it was really fun. I loved this episode
Yeah.
because of that.
This was great. Of course, we get to another obstacle. This one was all about balance being in the water. It was pretty cool. I liked it. Everyone had different strategic moves. I mean, Mackenzie wanted to crawl. Some of them just wanted to run it. Maria, once again, books it across the damn beam. Like, she's just been doing this her whole entire life. And in this challenge, they got to build a puzzle. I will say it came down to, like, Maria and Ben. They had to build, like, this whale type
That's
of
right.
puzzle and everything. And I really thought, I was like, oh my God, if Ben wins this like changes his whole entire game. Especially like now. I was like, whoa, this could really shake it up. But Maria being who she is, she ends up winning. What is going on with Liz once again? Because Liz was like talking or doing something while they're making the puzzle. I'm telling you, I'm hoping Liz is this chaotic in person as I'm getting, because I'm gonna be very disappointed if I meet her and she's not like this, because I'm over here like, what is going on with her?
You never know what you're going to get with Liz. It's true. I can't wait to meet her in person. Also, it's also a rumor, or is it confirmed? Is she a billionaire? Isn't there that rumor out there that she's also a billionaire?
Oh my God, that's right.
Like,
was it her?
She?
No, was it her or was it Mora?
So. Yeah, I think it was Liz. I think Liz is the billionaire. Is she? I don't know.
Please don't tell me that right now, because if I find out she's a billionaire and tripping over some damn Applebee's $2.20, I'm gonna eat her up. I'm gonna eat her up. I
know.
Oh
I can't. I hope that. Yes, I can't wait to meet her in person. Are
you going to the New York event?
Am I? Oh, I think so. I don't know. It's our 1 year anniversary. So how could I miss it?
No, I'm supposed to go. I'm still debating right now.
Are you? I'm kind of debating also. It'll be like a last minute thing if I do.
Yeah. Well, you can find a last minute quick cheap flight.
Yes. If I can do that, then, and just go for a few days. Yes. I am. I lucked out last season. 45 finale was in LA, which was really nice. So it's like, just a short drive from Phoenix, but really convenient. But I'm hoping, yes. So it's still up in the air, and I feel like I'm always doing this last minute. But I do want to celebrate with everyone and meet Liz.
Yes,
I know during this, during this challenge, it was interesting to see. For a second, I was like, wait, are Liz or Ben going to win this? Because I said to myself, before the challenge even started, I thought, okay, between Maria and Charlie, who are odds are in their favor to win, whoever wins out of either one of them, the other one is going home. It just seemed like that, hands down, that was going to be the story. And should have been the story. I mean, this is their chance to go at each other. So, oh my gosh, I was screaming at the TV. And then, Maria pulled through. She is a beast. She's a challenge beast. I love Maria. She's strategy. I mean, she's moving the pieces. She has been this entire season. And, she's taking a lot of credit for it, as she should. Well deserved. She worked really hard. She's winning.
She's been doing a lot of it. She's always on the right side of the vote, except for we will get into it, except for this one, but she's been on the right side of the vote.
And she's also really good at finessing moves, meaning like knowing who she can trust, who to leave out of the vote, how to leave them out of the vote. It's just been really interesting and fun to watch her play, because she's so methodical with every conversation that it just becomes, you know, it's like she's running it. Like she and Charlie both, because I know they're a duo, they're checking in with each other, they're having the conversations. Um, but I know I like to say she's the brains of the operation. She's doing great. I
No,
love
she
Maria.
is.
Yeah.
She is. She is. And Charlie's also a threat too. And I think that Charlie's just a secret threat that people are not really seeing much because of Maria. But it
Yeah.
kind of works out in his favor because, like I said, him in this game knew he needed to take her out because if he takes her out, when he gets to the end, he has a better resume taking her out. Plus all the other wins and stuff that he has done. But it's very interesting to see. Maria does win. I screamed, I yelled. I was so
Yeah.
excited for her to win. Because my thing is this, I'm going to be honest. I want Maria to win this game. If Maria does not win this game, I don't know how I feel, to be honest, about anybody else winning. I mean, maybe I'm okay with Charlie winning.
Well, I think she can do
I'm
it. I
sorry.
think she is positioned to do it.
Yeah, yeah, she definitely is. You know, Mackenzie, we get to tribe. Okay, I'm gonna cut to tribe because we kind
Hmm.
of trying to figure out who's gonna go home once again. You know, Q does have a meeting with some of the people that he thinks he trusts. He's telling them we're getting rid of Charlie. Charlie's like, damn, we can't get rid of Maria, so we definitely got to get rid of Q. And we're kind of going in the tribe knowing that Q has the idol, Maria has won, so we know for a fact Charlie or somebody, Ben, Mackenzie, or Liz is going home. Like we know after everything that's been happening, Q is gonna play this idol. Like we just
Yeah.
how the episode's going.
And
Jeff, go ahead. Yes, go
no,
ahead.
I was just going to say, and it is, there's only two more tribal councils that you can play an idol. So that idol is only good through until there's five people left in the game, which now there is. So it would have been with six left and five left. So he only had two opportunities to use it. And yes, so going into it and based on the conversation, I'm thinking to myself, Q has got to play it no matter what because he still has another opportunity to win immunity the next day for the next tribal at Final Five. So he's a shoe in for the finale. And at that point, you kind of want to see yourself in the finale. You just want to get there. I mean, I, oh, you're so close. And going into it, you're thinking like, okay, if I don't win immunity, then how am I positioned? What's the vote going to be? And oh my gosh, my heart breaks for him because it was like the prime time for him to find it. And then for Maria to want to get Charlie out, it needed to be you're going to play the idol no matter what. It's our idol since you shared it with me. Like you shared this information with me, you have an idol, this is how we play it, this is how we get this threat out, you have to play it. That's the move. Like there's no other move, you play it no matter what. And everybody wants you out, Q. Like she was privy to that information, everyone wants you out. So that should have been the conversation going into it. No matter what, Q, you play the idol. And then it's really whoever you want out, whoever you write down. So anyway, sorry, go on. I
No,
just
do not be sorry. I want to hear from you. Listen, let me tell you something. The Royal Court, that's what we call our little fan base for the Heavy Crown Network. The Royal Court always hears me talk. They're going to hear me talk the whole summer. This is why I love doing Survivor recaps, because I want to hear from players that played the game. You guys are experts. You lived it. I agree with everything you said. It definitely should have been a plan of action. I just can't believe, and before I get into it, I do want to say it. I just can't believe now there's been five players that went home with idols in their pockets. Okay? And if I'm correct, I think four of those players are actually in tribal and went home with idols in their pockets.
yes,
One
and
went home because of a medical with a
yep.
with an idol in their pocket. I'm just crazy that Q could sit there just hearing everything and knowing that anything can happen at these tribals. You think you listen, three times they've tried to get you out. Three strikes, you're out. You should have knew
Yeah.
after the third time, play that idol. I cannot believe that he didn't play that idol. And now we're going into next week knowing that Charlie knows Maria voted for him. And now it's going to be awkward because even though I know they had that
Yeah.
conversation, it's okay for them to go after each other. He never, or which he couldn't write her name, but it's like Maria's literally by herself now. Like she just made herself by herself. That's very interesting to see. And a sidebar, I just want to shout out Mackenzie is also when Mackenzie talks in Tribe, it also cracks me up because she gives like this whole narrative, this whole thing. But when she called, like, we're like one big happy family, and I'm like this, and I'm like this, and she called Liz the grandmom, I did. I died. I died.
Yes.
I died. And I also love Liz. I call it the Big D method. I love that Liz is like, I haven't won anything. There is no reason to get rid of me. You should take me to the end. I love that she's doing that because that's
Yeah.
strategic, and I'm here for it.
Exactly. She's there and she's not a threat and it's easy to sit next to her at Final Tribal. It's like that's her case and she's aware of it. And how brilliant that she's aware of it. And even before, like a few episodes ago, she was so aware of not getting credit for moves. I know she was arguing about getting credit for a move. You know, she's kind of has that ultimate awareness of knowing her position within a tribe. Like, where do you fall? And so for her to know that, it's like, hey, I'm going to make it to the final three. And here's why you should take me. She's solidifying her spot in an interesting way. And so I don't blame her. I do think that during this tribal, the confidence that Q has, and I go back to like, where did all this confidence start with everyone that's walked out with an idol? It's like somebody is making them feel very, very secure. And, you know, in each, like, I know Charlie made Tiff feel secure, I believe. Maria and Q just went into this tribal way too confident. It was like it was their tribal to lose. And especially with Maria writing down Charlie's name so confidently, it needed to be, the idol needed to be played. Like it should have been a condition. If I write Charlie's name down,
I
you
wonder
play
if they
the
had a
idol.
conversation that we don't know about. That's
That's
why I'm
what
just, that's why
I
I'm
was
kind of
thinking
like,
that.
damn.
Yeah, like did she know, were they just trying to flush the idol and just get Q out and like take the wild card out of it? You know, I don't like, or was it a true misstep in her game, because that could have been $1 million mistake for her. And I really think by not again like really working with Q enough to get him to play the idol, because it's his idol, he can do whatever he wants. And I
Yeah.
think for the record, he didn't walk out with the idol in his pocket, he walked out with the idol in
I
his
know in
Q
his
skirt.
hand. Yeah.
In his Q skirt.
Lord Jesus.
The Q skirt is
I'm dead.
my favorite part of the season.
Not the Q skirt being the favorite part of your season. I can't.
I
Listen.
love Q and I love his Q skirt, and the fact that he walked out with an idol in his Q skirt makes it even better.
I'm dead. I'm dead. It was just, it was just so good to see. And I love his Q skirt, but it's very interesting to see how you said. I think jury's taking a lot in of everything they're saying and how they're
Yeah.
playing, and just very shocked to see. But now that just means after all that, we're going into next week's episode knowing that Charlie knows Maria wrote his name down. We know that. And we also know for a fact that, if I'm correct, Jamie, is the idol back in the game? Because somebody
Yes,
wins.
there's
So
what. Yep.
somebody can find that idol, which AKA can
Yes.
be Maria, because she's the only one that knows that Q had an idol. I just
Right.
thought
So
about that.
she's going to start looking for it. And I was waiting for him to say something, because at the end of Tribal, he kind of like reached in, and I thought he was going to blow it up
me too.
and say like, hey, I have an idol. But I think he kind of bit his tongue as he's walking out. So he doesn't
Yep.
let them know. You're right. Maria's the only one that knows. So she's the only one that knows to look for it. And traditionally, the last few seasons, when they leave after final 6, they go back to a different island. So like for 44, we had already had that pre-planned. We knew that we were not going to go back to our beach. So we packed up our tarp, anything, our rice. We grabbed everything that we could from our beach, because we know that after final 6, that final 5, the final 5 go back to a new beach. And at that new beach during my season, that's where the idol was hidden for them to start looking for. So knowing that Maria's going to go back, she needs to start looking for the idol immediately. And I mean, I'm bravo to the final five. They did it, and I'm excited to see
Me too.
this next episode, especially knowing Charlie's coming in with information. No, and Charlie was to be fair, Charlie was trying to take her out as well. So
Yeah, I
it
think it's
would
going to
be
be okay. I think
yeah, it's a compliment. It's like when somebody tries to take you out like that, you know you're a major threat in the game. Like nobody wants to sit next to you
yeah.
in Final Tribal. Like you, if they're targeting you, it's like he. It's almost like she needed to do that, and he can recognize her game. Like game recognizes game. It's like I know that
Hmm.
you needed to do that to me. I was trying to do the same thing to you, and unfortunately it didn't work out. And if
Yeah.
Maria wants to share the information that Q had the idol and that was their whole plan, you know, who knows what's going to happen. But
Yeah.
I think that it's going to be a battle to the end. If we see Charlie and Maria both in the final three, I will be very surprised because
Me
I
too.
think that they're both going to kind of gun for each other, and everyone around them, same idea of those two
Yeah.
being the major threats left in the game. So hopefully we see, you know we have fire coming up. We have another idol that's out there, another immunity. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
I'm excited.
I
I'm so
know.
excited. I cannot wait. It's so crazy how fast this season went. But Jamie, I just want like tell everybody like what are you up to next? I know you say you're painting and working on your art and everything. Thank you so much for recapping with me, of course. But I would
Yes, it
love
was
to
so
know like
fun.
what are you working on next or what's going on? How's
Yeah,
work?
I
How's everything?
oh, it's going great. I actually I'll post it on my Instagram. We're doing
Which
this
I will put your
giant.
Instagram in the bio of this
Yeah,
the YouTube description and of
cool.
course I'll tag you on everything.
Yeah, amazing. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for having me. So we're doing a giant mural. We do commercial murals and residential. This one is an indoor residential mural, giant condo in Scottsdale, and it is gorgeous. It's three horses, and my friend Lauren Lee is the artist, and I'm assisting her on this project, and it is a huge project that is so colorful, so bright, brilliant. Anyway, I can't wait to share. I'll share that on my Instagram stories, and I need to put it in my feed so that it kind of lives on there forever. But other than that, I also have my plant stands because on Survivor 44, I was the plant lady, and we have good roots plants that they are propagation stations, and it's propagating season because it's spring, so when it gets warmer out, it's easier to propagate plants. The easiest plant to propagate is a pothos plant. I'm like, do I have one nearby? But you cut the pothos and then you stick it in the water. Anyway, I have these stations and they're in the link in my bio. There's 4 of them. They're on Amazon. They're amazing. Anyway, it's kind of like my
Yeah, so
little
anybody
plant
that's into
lady.
plants, guys, if you're listening to this or
Yes.
watching this, go get yourself a plant from Jamie for sure. I
Yes,
love
the
that.
propagation stations, they're amazing. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm doing that, and then I'm trying to travel as much as possible, and of course watch Survivor. I'm so sad that the season's almost over. We have to wait all summer until the next season. But yeah, other than that, I'm trying to decide if I'm going to go to New York next week. We'll
I
see.
know, I know. Hey guys, listen, just like she said, New York is next week. So if you guys are in the New York area or the what do you call it, East Coast area and you want to meet some of these iconic Survivor players like Jamie and the rest of them, or just want to come out and have a good time, if you have not, and I will say this again, if you have not been to a Bryce and Wendell present watch party, I don't know
Oh,
what
we
you're
love
doing
Bryce
because
and Lynn.
they do it the best. I have not, like I'm telling you, they do it the best. They really do turn it up. So just know, go to their page to get tickets. Tickets are still no, actually, oh my God, I think tickets are sold out.
Are they?
Yeah, I think Wendell put that on his Instagram today that
Did
they're
he
sold
really?
out. So I think the only thing that's available now is tickets for the Tuesday night. So yeah,
Okay.
but if not, I mean, you guys can still try to like bust in. I don't know, figure it out, or
Yeah.
stand outside. I don't know, but just be in New York. There's going to be so many opportunities.
Yes, be in New York. There's plenty of opportunity. There's normally like the party before, the day
That's what I meant.
before,
Yeah, yep. That's what I
after.
meant. So yeah, there's tickets for the day before. But Jamie, listen. I hope I get a chance to see you if you decide to go. If I decide to go, we don't know, but I know I'll see you soon.
Yes.
Jamie, where can everybody follow you at? Twitter, Instagram. I don't know what you're
Yeah.
using. Other things you're
I
using.
need to get
Please
back
tell
on
us.
Twitter. I'm not really on Twitter, but I am. And my handles across the board are the same: Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, which I love TikTok.
We love TikTok. Like, I'm
love
still trying to
TikTok.
work on my craft. Like, I'm like, I don't know what to post, but I love looking at stuff.
I love TikTok so much. And my handle is the same across the board. It's at Jaime Lynn Ruiz. And you can find me down below. He'll link it all. And yeah, that's
Jaime,
me.
thank you so much for doing this with me.
Thank you.
And
I
just
had
you
so much
being
fun.
yourself. I appreciate you just being yourself. And I love everything you're doing. And like I said, we are on our what? Villain era tour. Okay.
Yes!
That's what we're doing
That's what
moving
we're doing.
forward. Okay.
I
Guys,
love it.
please remember, please go follow Jaime. Guys, remember to like, subscribe, and comment. Okay. We have one more episode of Survivor. So let's make sure we really turn up and get ready for it. I hope to see you guys in New York. If I go, if not, please make sure you guys go. And I have one more episode before, guess what? I take my vacation.
Ooh,
and I don't,
where are you going?
Girl, I'm not recapping shows until Big
Okay.
Brother
Oh.
starts. It's time for Pride
heard-
season in June.
Yes,
I have like
yes.
so many Pride things to do now. I'm like,
I love
taking,
it.
I'm taking a break from podcasting. Nope, here comes Pride. All these events are
Yep.
doing Pride. But you know, it's gonna be nice to just give myself a break before
Yes.
Big Brother starts, and I'm excited. So I have
I'm
one
so
more
excited
episode, and the episode next week, I think you guys are going to gag because I got a great alum.
Ooh,
Like
I can't
old
wait.
school, like old school alum next week. So
Ooh, I can't wait to
yes.
see who it is.
Yes, I cannot wait. But Jaime, thank you once again. I love you. Be safe out there. And guys,
Thank you.
until next time, bye.
I love you.
Love you.